So the thing that caught me the most from the movie, I think, it was the emotion, like the roller coaster of everything. I mean, what kind of resonated with you that you were like, this is the project I have to do?
Oh, so many things. I mean, you know, you look for these personal films that in some ways are the story of your life, and I do make movies about spiritual crises, and this is the ultimate spiritual crisis, this film. And then you engineer them and make them, you know, fit into the things that you're trying to say. And in this case, it was a film about loneliness, you know, and about trying to struggle through life's ups and downs, through the tragedy and comedy that our lives are, and that one desperate, dark place where you're not able to escape. What do you do to want to live again? You know, how do you get back to living again? And you know, those are all themes in my life and themes in my work.
I thought it was interesting because it's like almost a theme in everyone's life. It's like what you walk away with, what may resonate with you on a certain situation you've been through, may not be my situation. And I think that, so everyone's going to walk away with something because your mind starts thinking, oh, that's just like the situation I was just in.
Yeah, hopefully, I mean, that's what you're looking for, is to connect to people and to say, you know, even though I haven't lived these experiences, this is something that feels true and authentic and personal to my life that I can relate to. There's two stories in the film, and one story is about the struggle of this middle-aged man, played by Mel Gibson, struggling with chemical depression and trying to figure out how to overcome that and how to live again, how to find his vitality again. And the other is his son, who hates him. You know, he's been watching this man become more and more of a loser as time goes on, and he sees all the things that remind him of himself, and he just wants to change. He wants to be different. He doesn't want to be his father. And unfortunately, he's not really able to escape it, and the only way to escape it is to bang his head into a wall. Well, that story, of course, is something that we all understand, this fear of becoming like our parents and not being able to do anything about it. So I think both stories have something for everyone.
Well, I think, like, before you even see the sticky notes on the wall, and before you see him hitting his head on the wall, you see that he's really starting to say, oh my gosh, I am becoming my parent, much like you said, that's everyone's biggest fear. And so you start to feel bad for Mel Gibson's character at one point because he has this puppet, and you're like, oh, that's a look, he can finally have a voice. But then after a while, it's like you see how it takes over his life.
Yeah, I think you see the effect of the survival skill. You know, in order for him to survive and for him not to kill himself, he needed a survival skill. But then the survival skill starts taking its own revenge, and he has to choose. The puppet makes him choose between his family and the puppet, and choose in some ways between his illness and his coping mechanism and the people who love him. And that's an incredibly difficult choice for him to make. And I believe in the movie he makes the right one.
Well, I think there's been a lot of questions about Mel Gibson and in this role and in this movie, and I know you had a lot of questions on the red carpet last night about that as well. For me and people I've talked with, you watch the movie and the character is so rich and evolves throughout the whole thing. I didn't think about any of that. I mean, I think, you know, I'm sure the hope of the movie as well. It's like he's such a strong actor.
Well, you know, look, Mel Gibson is an incredible actor, and he's an amazing director, of course. I mean, he's one of the greatest directors that we have. He is an incredibly talented and imaginative and heartfelt man, somebody who I've known for a long time, a great friend, and probably the most beloved person I've ever worked with in my life, hands down. So that's the Mel that I know, and I knew that when I brought him aboard, I knew he was right, not just because of his lightness and his comedic timing, but also because he understands that struggle of that character, and he understood it from a very authentic and real place. And I knew that he would bring to it all the pathos and the drama that, you know, that was a part of that struggle in Mel's own life. So, you know, in some ways, perhaps I don't really know what audiences are going to feel, and I can't know that. I hope that people are going to look at the work itself and feel inspired by it and be able to put everything else aside.
So I've got to ask, as an actor, director, and he's coming in with that as well, and you've got the puppet. It's hard enough acting with the puppet. He's got this voice going, and then the sex scene with the puppet. I mean, you know.
Gotta love it. Gotta have a sex scene with a puppet at one point in your career. Yeah, why not?
Well, there you go. You can check that off your list, right?
That's right.
So what was the hardest part? Was it like the accent for him, or learning the puppetry, or like you all acting and interacting together? How did that all come together? Was it several times before you would, you know, roll on him with it?
I think the hardest thing for him really was just doing the puppeteering and doing the emotional stuff that he had to do at the same time. You know, trying to do that at the same time as you know, being a real character.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.